Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, as you guys can see, we are going to talk about the narcissist takes your fuel and leaves you in your shadow self. The narcissist takes your fuel and leaves you in your shadow self. The narcissist, you guys, they are someone who comes into your life, and you have to think about yourself as, your brain being very powerful. Your brain controls your existence. Your brain creates your reality. The narcissist comes into your life. They hijack you. They come into your vehicle. They feed you lies. They ask to borrow your car. They move on so quickly, and you entrust them with your vehicle, and something tells you, I haven't asked this person if they have a driver license. I don't know really their background, but they already moved in. They're already here and they won't go away because the narcissist moves in quickly. They love bomb. Once they love bomb you, they want to see you all the time. They want to spend all their time with you. The narcissist has plans for you. They take your vehicle without your permission. They give you an excuse. They tell you, hey, I just needed to go to the store really quick. Hey, I actually got your car washed. They tell you things and make you feel as if they care, just to turn around and throw it in your face. And once that vehicle has crashed, they will say, hey, you should never had let me drive your vehicle. That's your fault. You should have asked for my information first. You should have done your background. And what happens is they take off, and you're there to have to deal with not having fuel. All the times the narcissist broke that car down, broke you down. And you're there and you feel as if, hey, I'm not just some vehicle you can just fix up. This vehicle is stuck on that driveway. It's been months, it's been years, and I still haven't been able to fix this vehicle. It just doesn't run the same anymore. At this point, it just doesn't run at all. And that's what the narcissist wants you to believe. They want you to believe that you mean nothing. They want you to believe that you're just an object, a possession to be put on the shelf. Someone they can come back to when things aren't going right, or things aren't going their way, or someone has hurt their ego. The narcissist does this to everyone. They get in everyone's vehicles instead of getting their own. They feel as if they're too good to have to go get a job. And this is just an example, guys. They feel as if they don't have to do anything, that the world is theirs. And they believe that while creating their reality, it is your fault for not creating yours. There is a game that the narcissist plays. And these type of people, they play it with everyone. Some are worse monsters than others. And once the narcissist leaves you there and they have taken your fuel because they feel entitled to go get into another shiny car, they've left you there with nothing but your shadow self. I believe that the most beautiful part about the narcissist leaving you in your shadow self is that you are able to see that someone could provoke different types of emotions that other people just can't trigger. These people will have you feeling really bad. You will be mind blown. You will be in disbelief. You will try to bargain with them. You will try to seek some type of empathy. You can have proof of things that they've done to you, and they will choose one thing or, something that you did to them that was never done with the intent of being malicious, and they will make it seem as if you were the worst partner ever. And because you believe these things, because the good part of you, your empathy, that shines through, that they came and they looked at it as if it was fuel, because you gave it to them for free. You gave them the fuel to drive for free. Anyone that is narcissistic, that you offer them anything for free, they're not going to think twice. If you give them money, they're not going to say, no, it's okay, I don't need it, here, take it back. They're going to, brag about it, not appreciate it, and throw it in your face later on as if you didn't do anything for them, or it was your choice to do it. They didn't tell you to be nice, because they look at it as if, hey, you gave me free fuel, the shadow self brings forth anger, and all these thoughts, frustration. You'll find yourself getting angry out of nowhere. You'll see that you'll be upset, you'll cry, you'll be numb. You'll feel like you literally experienced a mental death, because everything that you believed in was a lie, and everything that you told yourself, or the reality that you tried to create for yourself, wouldn't bring forth to what you wanted, because this narcissist came and they seeked your light from the beginning. They saw that you didn't have your shield up. They saw that you didn't have your armor, you didn't have your protection, and they saw right through it. Narcissists, once you realize who they are, you will realize that they ask a lot of questions. They want to know a lot about your history, your background. They want to know a lot of things about you. And even if you don't tell them, they're going to do their research on you, because they need to know, what benefits are they going to get from you. Even if you're a great looking person, it does not matter. It's all about them. It's their world, and you're just there living in it, and that's how they look at it. And it's okay to create our reality. You know, the thing about the narcissist is that when they create their reality, they're messing with free will. And you can't mess with free will because, as you guys know, the universe knows everything. Everything will always come to light. So the narcissist thinks that they're gods. You know, you will hear a lot of them, you know, say that they're kings or gods. There's some that even worship Satan, you know, and you will find things about them. The more you deal with them, they'll say very demonic, strange things, and you'll kind of look at them sideways, like in disbelief, but it's not a joke. It's not a joke. They really feel that way. And because you've been so used to the mask that they put, it's like you're even finding it hard to come to terms that, hey, this is really a monster. This is nothing they ever said or done has ever been real. You know, that look they get in their eyes and they start squinting, and, you know, they have this very predatory look about them. And you will see it eventually once you have came to terms that you're dealing with a narcissistic person. But they chip at you. They take all your fuel until you're broken down, and that's when your shadow self comes out. And you know, when that shadow self comes out, you know, you put yourself in situations, or you're just trying to go about your day, and there's these predators around you that are trying to mess with you, and you're realizing that they're predators, you know, before you might have, you know, not thought nothing much of, you know, certain comments that men or women made to you. And then you start realizing more and more that the jokes that people make are actually either jabs or how they really feel about you. And a lot of times, especially when you really don't know people and they say stuff to you, it could be very offensive. Especially, you know, the fact that when you're in that shadow self, you're very fragile. You're very fragile to people's emotions and how people talk to you. And, you know, you have triggers, and you feel as if you can get very defensive because certain things that the narcissist might have done or said, you start linking those things to the actions of others, and then it's almost like you lose respect for people based on their actions, because you link those actions back to them, and you start to think that they're just as bad as the narcissist. And when that happens, you know, that negative energy, because you're constantly creating your reality, and because you're in that shadow self and you're angry, what happens is that you start bringing more negativity based on your fears, and more bad problems and more bad things start happening, and everything around you seems like it's breaking down. And as everything, your whole dynamic, your whole structure and dimension that you're living in starts breaking down, you start breaking down with it. And then you're that broken down car with no fuel, and you're just stuck there with that shadow self. And what you need to do is You have to accept your shadow self. You have to love your shadow self. The difference between, I believe, us and the narcissist is that as much as these people think or act as if they're happy, they're very angry people. Think of all the years you've been around them, and yet they're very angry. And yes, you can say, well, they get this high when they're with other people and they're happy with them. It's a high. That high eventually comes down. You know, just the same way you had an addiction, they have an addiction. And when you realize that, and you realize that they're living in their shadow self, but they can't control it. They can't control it because they are that shadow. There's literally no light there. And when you realize that and you forgive, it's like a grand awakening. And it's like a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful awakening, but at the same time, it's so painful. It's like a spiritual death, and it hurts. It's like you're at a funeral and you're crying, and you're at that funeral by yourself. And I say that because I've been there physically and mentally, and everything that I've felt mentally has manifested physically. And at the end, when you realize that that the more negative, thoughts that you created, you didn't help your situation because you felt like you needed to be saved, when in reality you're a superhero. You have the power. You have the power. So if you have the power, how can you expect someone to save you when you have all the power within you? And what happens is that you might feel as if I have the power, you might know that you have the power, and it might feel like nothing matters. It might still feel like nothing matters. And I believe that's why a lot of people who are successful and who learn to love their shadow self and their past lives and the nightmares that they experienced. I feel like, once you get forward to forgiving yourself and starting new and building a new identity for yourself, because you'll never be back the same. And I think that's another thing, is that when you're in that shadow self, you're afraid and you have a lot of fear, and you keep wanting to go back, or you keep being resentful, and that resentfulness ends up turning into hate. And when you start feeling all these negative emotions, the narcissist in your lives will make you feel so miserable, so drained, just hurt, because they don't feel anything for you at all. There's nothing there. And when you realize that, it's very hurtful, and it's like being in that shadow self of pain. You must understand that that's what the narcissist lives with every single day. When they meet a new supply, yes, they get a little high, and it seems like they're happy, but no matter how perfect that person might be, the narcissist is so filled with hate and that shadow self of theirs that they can't ever look at. They never look at themselves. They never look at themselves for who they truly are. They never want to see the monsters that they are. You can show them proof of what they do, and they still will deny it. So when they're with these people, they end up hating them. And that hate that they had with you will manifest with this person, but way worse, way worse. And if you know they have a cycle, or you figured out that they have a cycle of doing this to others, women, family, you will see that with everyone who sticks around with them, things only get worse for them. So yeah, let them smile in your face. Let them laugh at you. But you get the last laugh when you find out that you had the superpower the whole time. They came to you trying to rub on your golden genie bottle, asking for wishes, when you had the power the whole time. So I leave you guys with this message. I hope that it was helpful for you guys. And I had a long day, so I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.